10 toxic guitar string brands you must avoid, and 3 safe choices. Your strings are fake, allergic, or falling apart, and you don't know which. Counterfeit packaging, hidden allergens, coatings that die in days. Here's what's actually happening, and the 3 fixes that work. Number 10. The mystery multi-pack. You have seen it. 24 strings for around $10, promising premium bronze and rust-resistant coating, sold under a name you have never heard of, or under a giant retailer's own house brand. Compare that to a genuine name brand set, which usually runs $6 to $12 for a single pack, and the math looks tempting. Here is what the glowing product photo does not show you. Player after player reports strings snapping within hours of installation, going out of tune within minutes, and arriving pre-kinked straight out of the packaging. One buyer restrung an old family guitar, and 7 hours later a string snapped while they were tuning a completely different string on the same instrument. Multiple other buyers report the exact same failure on the exact same product listing. And here is the twist. Guitar forums have laid these bargain packs side by side with other budget brands sold under different names and found identical packaging, identical feel, identical failure points. Different label, same unnamed overseas factory. You are not choosing between 10 different brands on that shelf. You are choosing the same product with 10 different price tags glued onto it. Number 9. Bulk packs marketed specifically to gigging musicians who burn through strings fast. The pitch is simple. Buy in volume, save money, never run out mid-tour. So, how does a 24-pack cost less than one single set from a name brand? But guitar technicians who service these strings for a living report something the packaging never mentions. The metal itself is frequently harder and more abrasive than proper string alloy, and it is cut to looser manufacturing tolerances. That means faster, more visible wear grooves cut directly into your frets over time. Small damage that quietly accumulates until it forces a professional fret dressing, or in worst cases, a full refret, which can easily run into the hundreds of dollars depending on your instrument. One repair tech put it bluntly, pay for cheap strings now or pay for a refret later. The money you saved buying the giant pack disappears the moment your frets actually need real work done on them. Number 8. The authorized seller that is not. Search any major string brand on a marketplace like Amazon or eBay, and you will find dozens of third-party sellers claiming authorized dealer status somewhere in their listing. Most of them are not authorized at all. A guitar shop that tested marketplace listings directly found gauge markings printed on the packet that did not match what was actually inside, packaging with duller colors and noticeably sloppier printing than the genuine product, and vacuum seals so poor the strings had already been exposed to open air before the buyer even opened the pack. The seller's product photo is always the real genuine item. What actually ships to your door is very often something else entirely, and by the time you notice the difference, you have already installed it on your guitar. Guitar strings are an especially easy target for this. Cheap to fake, easy to ship, nearly impossible to authenticate from a photo online. A criminal does not need to fake a $2,000 guitar to make money. Faking a $6 string and selling it 100,000 times works just as well. Before we get into the counterfeits carrying real famous brand names, and this next section might genuinely make you rethink every string purchase you have ever made online, take a second to like and subscribe. It genuinely helps push this investigation to the players who need to see it. Let's keep going. Number 7. Counterfeit Ernie Ball Slinkies. A retailer that specifically tests counterfeit musical gear bought a multi-pack advertised online as a bulk deal and found the D, G, B, and high E strings repeatedly snapping at the saddle after only a few hours of normal playing. They swapped in a genuine Ernie Ball set on the exact same guitar, same setup, same player. The problem vanished immediately and completely. The only variable that changed between the two tests was the string itself. That is not bad luck, and it is not a rough night. That is counterfeit metal failing exactly where cheap, low-tolerance metal always fails first, usually right where the string bends sharply over the bridge saddle. Number 6. Counterfeit D'Addario, wearing D'Addario's own trusted name against you. Multiple Amazon buyers reported receiving packs where the outer shrink wrap was stamped "Made in China," while the cardboard box sealed underneath still read "USA Made" in bold print. D'Addario is a company that manufactures the factory-fit strings shipped standard on Fender guitars, and has quietly supplied private label strings to instrument makers for decades. Even they complained directly to Amazon about these specific listings. Some individual customers eventually got a replacement set sent out. D'Addario has said the underlying fake listing problem itself was never actually resolved on the platform, and counterfeiters keep coming back, because a $6 string is cheap to fake and easy to sell in bulk to millions of guitarists worldwide. Number 5. Counterfeit Elixir NanoWeb, the coded string built on a premium price tag and an even bigger premium promise. A genuine set typically runs $15 to $20. So, how does a $5 version of the same string exist at all? One tester deliberately ordered a $5 Elixir pack from an unverified marketplace seller and compared it side by side against a genuine set bought from an authorized dealer. The fake strings were noticeably shorter, felt abrasive instead of smooth under the fingers, and had a brighter, plasticky sheen instead of Elixir's signature matte finish. On stage, mid-song, the ball end of one string actually unraveled, and the tuning kept drifting flat no matter how far the tuning peg was turned. The player initially blamed a broken tuner. It was never the tuner. It was the $2 knockoff wound tightly around it, sold under a logo that looked completely convincing in the online listing photo. Number 4. Bargain-coated strings sold on the promise of months of rust-free tone straight out of the packet. To be fair, all coatings wear down eventually, even on the genuine premium brands. That part is completely normal and expected, but some cheap coated sets fail almost instantly instead of gradually, because the coating itself is a thin, low-cost afterthought rather than an engineered layer. One documented case involved a coated acoustic set that started flaking black residue off the plain strings within days of installation, leaving behind a harsh, buzzing tone and gritty, uncomfortable fingertips. The player tried a second set from that same batch just to rule out a fluke. Same failure within days, again. The manufacturer never responded to the complaint. A cheap, defective coating does not protect your tone at all. It just adds a mess on top of a string that was already destined to wear out fast. But the next one is not about counterfeits at all. It is about something your own body may have been telling you for years, on strings that were completely genuine. Number 3. Nickel-wound strings, sold to millions of players every single year with zero warning printed anywhere that nickel is one of the most common skin allergens on the entire planet. So, why isn't that on the label? Peer-reviewed dermatology research has documented guitarists developing genuine allergic contact dermatitis, blistering, cracked skin, persistent rash, specifically from nickel released by their strings, reacting with everyday sweat. Case studies on exactly this condition have been published in medical journals since the early 1990s. Laboratory testing under standard sweat simulation conditions has found that nickel release from typical guitar strings usually stays below the threshold known to trigger a reaction in most people. But most people is not everyone, and individual sensitivity varies enormously. It is not common across every player, but it is real, it is documented, and it is dismissed constantly. No string brand puts an allergy warning anywhere on the packaging. If your hands break out every single time you restring your guitar, it might not be your soap or your detergent at all. Number 2. The lifetime tone marketing plastered across premium coated string lines. Coating technology genuinely does extend string life, and that part is not a myth or a gimmick, but phrases like won't corrode and stays fresh for months are marketing language on a box, not a guarantee written into the product itself. Long-term users of the biggest coated brands on the market report the coating splitting, peeling, and turning visibly fuzzy anywhere from a few weeks to well over a year, depending almost entirely on how much you personally sweat and how often you actually play, not on how much money you paid for the pack. You are buying yourself a longer runway. You are not buying an exemption from basic physics. Number 1, the single biggest myth on this entire list. So, what actually separates a real set from a fake one sitting right next to it online? The brand name printed on the packet does not guarantee what is actually wound around your guitar right now. D'Addario, Ernie Ball, and Elixir are not the villains anywhere in this story. They are the victims, spending real money fighting counterfeits of their own products on the exact same marketplaces you are shopping on this week. The danger was never one single toxic brand hiding in plain sight on the shelf. It is buying from an unverified seller and quietly assuming a logo is proof of anything at all. Right now, on that same listing page, the real string and a convincing fake are sitting one click apart from each other, and nothing in the product photo will ever tell you which one is actually about to show up at your door. 10 items, and almost none of them are really about the famous brands themselves. They are about unverified sellers, unnamed overseas factories, and marketing language quietly doing the job that actual quality control should be doing instead. The real brands on this list are not poisoning anyone or hiding anything sinister. They are being copied, faked, and undercut by sellers hiding behind their good names, while players quietly blame their tuner, their sweat, or their own technique for problems that were never their fault to begin with. Every one of these failures gets written off individually as bad luck. A snapped string here, a rash there, a coating that peeled early. Nobody connects them because nobody expects a $6 accessory to be the target of an actual counterfeiting operation. That is exactly why it keeps working. And strings are not the only accessory this is happening to. Cables, pedals, even the genuine pickups already sitting in that suspiciously cheap guitar have the exact same problem. That is a rabbit hole for another video. So here are the 3 choices actually worth spending your money on. First, buy direct from the manufacturer's own website or from a verified, established music retailer, never an unfamiliar third-party marketplace seller, even when the listed price looks identical to the real thing and the reviews look convincing. That single habit alone eliminates almost every counterfeit risk we just walked through. Second, if your hands react badly to regular strings, ask for stainless steel wound sets instead of nickel-plated ones. It is a documented, evidence-backed alternative for reducing nickel exposure, and every major manufacturer now offers it in most gauges. It will not guarantee zero reaction for every single player, since sensitivity varies, but it is the swap with actual published research behind it. Third, treat coated strings as a maintenance tool, not a miracle cure. Buy them from a brand with a genuine track record. Expect the coating to wear with real use no matter what the price tag promises, and change your strings on a normal schedule instead of waiting around for a lifetime that was never actually promised anywhere in writing. Guitar strings were never the real danger here. Unverified sellers are. Subscribe so you never fall for one.